Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video tutorial on dubious positions and how to attack them. This would be bot 21 and we will be continuing with the central cannon versus greenhouse defense. So without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon, greenhouse defense, and in this variation, this bot P3 plus 1 is played as red chooses to play the third pawn advancement variation. Black will counter likewise, and red will play h8 plus 9. And since the horse was developed as a black edge horse, black would usually play p1 plus 1 in retaliation. Now all these are considered to be tabia, opening tabia, and this is one of the most complicated opening systems in Xiangqi. This move by black is very good, because not only would it impede the development of red's edge horse, it will also allow black to play r1 plus 3 to protect the central pawn in preparation for attacks by black later on this flank. Other than this move, e3 plus 5 or e7 plus 5, a4 plus 5 are all considered to be other orthodox major opening lines. And red will usually play c8 equals to 7 or c8 equals to 6 for the 5-6 cannons. But by far, c8 equals to 7 is most commonly seen. And black could play h3 plus 2 to prevent red from developing the chariot as a foul chariot, which would force red to develop it as a rank chariot. And e3 plus 5 is played to consolidate defense, and this could indirectly weaken the efficiency or the threat of this cannon, because now the elephant had moved away. There are two other ways, orthodox ways of playing. One would be to play p1 plus 1. Possible line would be and red could also play c2 plus 3, etc. And this would be a very complicated situation. Now red will be concentrating his forces over here, while black will be concentrating his forces on this flank. Either way, this would be a complicated situation and is considered to be tabia also. Another variation would be to play e7 plus 5 instead of e3 plus 5. Red would charge the horse forward, protect the horse, develop, and black could also play p5 plus 1 and he will still be in contention. However, in this board we'll be discussing e3 plus 5. We usually play r9 equals to 6, preparing to advance to this intersection for a pin. So black would counter likewise to defend his pawn rank. h3 plus 4. Now this would be the move, or the dubious move in this board. Now it would appear that this move would seem to be natural. Red would try to attack the central pawn or this pawn over here. However, in this formation, in red's formation, one very important line would be red's cannon rank, or also known as the deployment rank, as one of its Chinese translation. By moving h3 plus 4, this rank would be weakened. Also, more importantly, this chariot would now be left hanging. There will be no horse to protect it, and if black were to offer a trade of chariots, red will be left in a dilemma, which will be seen in one of the variations later on. So the sound move in this situation would be to play r2 plus 6 to apply pressure on this flank. The pace would be slow, but both colors would take their time and wait patiently for opportunities to appear. Now h3 plus 4, after seeing that red had played h3 plus 4, black could immediately capture the edge pawn and threaten the cannon over here. Now this is a very powerful move, as black would slowly sound red out and see how he would reply. Now it is common for red to retreat his cannon in this manner, Now, if he played r6 equals to 8 to try to offer a trade of chariots, trade of cannons, sorry, black would gladly accept it, capture the central pawn, and black would have more pawns and the advantage in this situation. As can be seen, the threat of this horse cannot be seen at the moment, and this horse, after moving to the riverbank, it will not have any good intersections, save for perhaps h4 plus 3 to continue, but it will be also under the threat of the black chariot, which has commanded his own pawn rank and also this red file. So this is a very, very powerful chariot at this point. The black would have the advantage. So r6 equals to 8 for a trade of material is not advised. Neither would c7 equals to 8b, because if this were done, red would immediately play p3 plus 1 to offer a trade of pawns. And once this was so, he will be prepared to push the pawn forward to attack black would, and black would have the initiative. Hence, that is why c7 minus 1 would be the ideal move in this situation. But this is not without its worries. And once the cannon was pushed back, black would immediately advance his cannon across the river to command the deployment rank or cannon rank, as I mentioned earlier. Now, this is a very powerful move. It would threaten to capture the horse and offer a trade of material. As can be seen, the horse had left, so this chariot is now not protected. So red would suddenly find himself in all sorts of trouble. Now, there are two main variations. The first would be h4 plus 3. The second would be r6 plus 6. In variation A, h4 plus 3 was played, but black would now immediately capture the horse, offering a trade of chariots. And instead of capturing the chariot, black would make an intermediate move of c1 equals to 3 to attack the cannon. Now, this is a very powerful tactical combination, because black would now be threatening to checkmate with the double cannons checkmate. And if the king moved, red's formation would be in all sorts of trouble. Red would now try to salvage his situation by moving his chariot away, but this would take up another move and check. Again, if red moved the advisor, this would be immediate checkmate. So red would be forced to move his king, but unfortunately, black would now attack with a powerful cannon pin, playing c2 plus 6. Black would now be sure to recover his lost material. He could play r1 equals to 4, etc., etc. And red would be in all sorts of trouble. So it would be very hard for red to be in contention, and this would be our discussion for variation A, h4 plus 3. Again, a short recap. A very powerful move, offering a trade of chariots, and c1 equals to 3, which will be perhaps the most important move for black in this game. Let us go to variation B, which is slightly more complicated. Red will try to offer a trade of material instead of passively countering passively. Sorry. R1 equals to 2 to protect the cannon. And at this point in time, it would be best for red to play c7 equals to 3. Now, as can be seen, there are five variations for this move. Let's say if red tried to trade material by sacrificing his cannon, if the elephant captured it, red would capture the horse and try to mount an attack from the central file. But black would first consolidate his defense, forcing the chariot away from this root file. And again, the cannon will now target the solitary elephant over here. Red would have a hard time dealing with this situation. Once the cannon captured the elephant, there will be a very powerful attack on this flank. Neither would c7 equals to 5 be a possibility, because Again, black would consolidate his defenses, and he will now play. He will now advance his chariot to block the elephant and be prepared to capture the horse. Again, the black horse, the presence of the black horse over here would mean that this would be a trade of chariots after capturing the red horse. H4 plus 6. Again, the red chariot is dislodged. P5 plus 1 to prevent the horse from further mischief. And black will gladly trade material. After capturing the horse, there will be the cannon also. So again, black would have an easier time ahead and red would be all sorts of trouble. So h4 plus 6 would not be viable either. What about h4 plus 3? Again, the chariot is dislodged. And black would have a very powerful option of blocking the elephant from protecting the horse and also targeting the cannon at the same time. So black would have the advantage. So that is why c7 equals to 3 is advocated. But even so, red will be all sorts of trouble. Thus, black would dislodge the chariot. And now, instead of capturing the horse, black will use a similar tactic by threatening the elephant. Now, this is a very simple, straightforward, but very powerful move. Now, r2 plus 2 would not be a good idea because red will advance the horse, threatening the horse again, offering a trade of material, capturing the elephant and the horse. Black will gain material, but he will lose the initiative, and this will not be a good deal for black, as his attack on this flank will be halted, and the congestion brought about by gaining material would not seem to be a good idea, and also red will have a compensation of 1 elephant. So c8 equals to 7 will be perhaps a more vicious move, and red would simply accept the trade of chariots. He cannot play c3 equals to 2 to refuse to trade chariots because black would capture the horse and then play r8 plus 7. As can be seen, in terms of space, red's pieces are extremely congested. The chariot was poorly located. This horse cannot do much, and black will have many options available for him. So this situation will become extremely unfavorable to red. So that is why red would accept the trade, hoping to simplify the situation. But black would plunder an elephant in the process. Now red will try to mount an attack from the central file. c5 equals to 4 is not a good idea, even though red will try to hope to play e7 plus 5 for some defense, because black will now push his horse advance, and then black would play r2 equals to 6 and change the direction of his attack to this flank. Black would have the advantage. So h4 plus 5, and black would park his cannon on the bottom rank for safety. There's always c2 equals to 3 if need be, and this chariot is now free to do attack. Black could also play c7 equals to 9, etc, etc. There will be many options for black. At this point, black would also have the additional elephant, and it is very obvious that black would have the significant advantage. So, a short summary. Central cannon, screen house defense, third pawn advancement, edge horse, first and third pawn advancement variation, 5-7 cannons, h3 plus 2, external riposte for variation, r9 plus 1, e3 plus 5, r9 equals to 6, r1 equals to 3, r1 plus 3, sorry, to protect the pawn rank, h3 plus 4. Now this would be the dubious move, because once it left the cannon rank, black would immediately try to control this cannon rank and be able to gain much. h2 plus 1, retreating the cannon because r6 equals to 8 or c7 equals to 8 would not be viable. And black would immediately play c8 plus 5 to command a huge lead. h4 plus 3 variation A would result in a terrible situation for red. Black would be able to get back lost material. r1 equals to 4 is a potential game winner. There is also h1 plus 3 to deliver a check and capture the chariot for free. So red would be in all sorts of trouble, and it would be very difficult for red to continue. Variation B, r1 equals to 2 and c7 equals to 3 is advised because c7 plus 4, c7 plus equals to 5, h4 plus 6 and h4 plus 3 would all lead to the red chariot being dislodged, and black would be able to maneuver his pieces nicely. Okay, black again dislodges the chariot, and a very beautiful, powerful move by offering a retreat of chariots. If the horse captured the cannon, red would lose the chariot in the game. Red has to accept, but lose his elephant in the process. And after trading material, it is very obvious that red would have the significant advantage. So the main reason for black's downfall, perhaps for red's downfall, sorry, the biggest reason is h3 plus 4 over here, because red underestimated the importance of his cannon rank, and this resulted in a very dire situation for both variations. So this is a very good example of the importance of the cannon rank, especially in the opening stage in Xiangqi. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video. If you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.